Hi everyone, it's Marcy here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I sell all of the fabulous Stampin' Up! Products that I share with you. Thank you so much for taking a moment of your day to come and stamp with me. I truly do appreciate it. Today we are going to be creating with the beautiful new coordination product release. This is the Sending Flowers dies. As you can see, it is quite a large die as well. It has two labels and it's got the extra flowers. So it looks like it's a lot of work, but really it is not. It is found here on the Sending Flowers right here. It coordinates with the Sending You Thoughts, which is a celebration item. So all of these items that you purchase from February 4th to March 31st, they coordinate with different items in the mini catalog or the celebration brochure. As well, we've got this second page here that has the designer series paper and the birthday dies. So let's get started. So to create this card, I'm pulling out my dies. So as you can see, this is quite large. And what I'm going to do with it is I've got my cardstock already cut here. I'm using a piece of thick Whisper White because it's got more substance to it for the die cutting these flowers. So I am going to take my die cutting plate here is very well used. So all of the measurements can be found on my blog, as well as links, product links for purchasing any of the supplies that I'm using from my online store. So I am laying this down and making sure that this is fairly straight and that I've got the right amount on either side of my cardstock. So we want it to be centered. All right, and then we are just going to run that through my die cutting machine here. If you live in Canada and do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you currently work with, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. If you have wondered about the Stampin' Up! Opportunity, if you would like to message me, I would love to discuss with you all about the joining special that is going on right now. So I'm just going to carefully take that out, and as you see, we have die cut out. So we're going to carefully pull this out without ripping these flowers, all this excess cardstock that is not needed. Okay. This is such a fun large die that you can do so much with. Now I'm just going to take my Take Your Pick tool and pop out the rest of these, the little flower centers. I have seen quite a few samples online, people using watercoloring it, brusho, heat embossing it. So many fun different ways to use this. Just scooch that off to the side. Now these here have been die cut as well. You could come along with your Take Your Pick tool and lift these up to make it like it's a flower bloom, as you can see what I did right there. Or you can leave them flat. It's completely up to you. Okay, let's just scooch you out of the way. Okay, I'm going to come back in with my piece of scrap paper. And to color my stems, all I did was take my light granny apple green and I'm just going up. And it's okay if you cover some of the flower because that is going to be covered with die cut blooms. So I'm just doing a rough job. I'm bringing that green right up to the into the flower bloom itself, so that if my flower, die cut flower, doesn't totally cover it, I've got my green from the stem. You can color these any color you wanted. And by just carefully going over it around the edges there. I'm going to turn it because this area here, I'm going to assume that this here is the leaf, part of the leaf of that tulip. And if you happen to go outside into that main circle area, you could take your color lifter and lift up, move some of that color. And now I'm just going over just to deepen some of the areas, because as you know, the more you lay down of the color, the deeper it's going to get. You're going to change the color. Okay, so I think we did a pretty good job there. So now I am going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, and I have already ahead of time die cut out a whole bunch of my flower blooms here. So I'm just going to sprinkle them out, and I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to pull out some of these die cut flowers. So one will go there, and they come in different sizes. So you can see this one's quite tiny. There's 3 different sizes of the blooms. Okay, so now let's bring in a blue, a little blue, and nope, that's too little. That is rare. There we go. This one here is, I think, the right size. So the Take Your Pick tool, the putty end, is perfect for this. Okay, so now let's grab a tulip and another tulip. So these colors are Petal Pink, So Saffron, Highland Heather, and Balmy Blue. Let's see if this is big enough. No, that's too little, so let's go in my bin here. I think that's the same size. This one here is bigger. So let's trade you out. You could do any color combination you wanted. We need one of these. I like to lay it out first to choose my colors. Oops, I don't want blue, so let's switch you. So let's go this blue here, and let's pull out another purple. No, you're too little. I'm making quite the mess here. I'm looking for, that's the same size purple. I think I don't have another. Yeah, they're all too little, so we're gonna go with the bigger one. That's okay. And then we'll go the blue here, and we need another petal pink tulip. These are all larger, and it's gonna have to do, I think. And then we need a purple here. Are you, I think you're too little. So you're seeing my creative process here. All right. Okay, so I think we're good with these. So let's just scooch the rest out of the way. Okay, so the way I like to do it is I find that it's easier to put the glue on something a little larger. So we're just going to put the glue on the base and then pick up that flower and stick it on top, rather than fumbling with putting it on your die cut. Okay. And I'm not worried about the white showing through, because I'm going to come in with some rhinestones and put them in the center to make my center of my flowers sparkly. I do love my bling. So if you did this ahead of time, die cutting all of your flowers, then you could have a mass production line and create quite a few of these. I'm just trying to get this to move up. Come on, little guy. He's stuck down quickly. There. Come on, come on. This is what happens when you shoot a video. It kind of goes whichever way it wants. Okay. Another So Saffron tulip. Another Highland Heather. And these dies are $37. So quite reasonable, I think, for what you get. There we go. Turn him around so that he's the right way. There is a right way and a wrong way with some of these dies to cover the underneath. And I think, is this the last one? Are they all adhered now? Yes, they are. Okay, so my next piece is a piece of the Lily Designer Series paper that is in the first Celebration offering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue, and as you can see, I've cut it so that it goes completely over. So I'm just taking my liquid glue around here. And then I'm going to just slip that right over the back. And there you have that lovely orange background. Be like a sunset almost. Okay, so now I've got my petal pink cardstock, and I'm going to I like my liquid glue because it gives me a few moments longer to make sure that I have it in the right position. Okay, so now I want to come in with my rhinestones. And I'm just going to put just a tad around that circle. Not a whole lot, just a little. So it gives my rhinestone just that little extra to adhere to. Okay, so let's put some big ones on here. And some medium. And then a couple of the small 1 and 2. Okay, so we've got all of our rhinestones on there. Now we're going to come in with my base, which is thick Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to bring in my bone folder and burnish that score line here so that it's got a nice crisp fold. And we're going to adhere that to the card base. Like that. And I see that I've got, now that it's drying, I can see that right here. I want to just clean up that line just ever so slightly. So I'm going to take my color lifter and just, it's just moving that color back just slightly, pushing it back in. There, I think I like that better. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is our label. So what I am doing, I've got the Happy Birthday from the Little Ladybug stamp set, and this is the Host reward stamp set that you can only get with a $375 order or workshop. So if you aren't able to put in a $375 order, that's quite large. If you gathered a few of your friends together and put in a combined order, then you could easily achieve that and get that stamp set and share it amongst yourselves. That would be fabulous. I really like this stamp set. I've gotten a lot of use out of it. So I'm using Petal Pink cardstock and Poppy Parade ink, and I find it easier to stamp. Get that out of the way. I find it easier to stamp on my cardstock first and then die cut out, rather than trying to stamp straight inside that small die cut. So if I stamp it first, close that up, get that out of the way, and then bring in my die and then layer it over top and then die cut it out, then I know, even if I haven't quite stamped it completely straight, I can adjust it in my centered in my die, so that way I'm not wasting, I'm not unhappy that I have stamped crooked. As you can see, I have just lined it up inside to die cut out. So that way it's straight every time and I'm happy with my results. And I'm not wasting cardstock because I have stamped crooked and then have to throw it out. Okay. And this die, as you can see, it embosses as well. Isn't that pretty? So imagine all of the sentiments you're going to be able to use with this. Very, very versatile. I think that these dies are a fabulous, fabulous addition to your crafting supplies. So then we're just going to put some adhesive on this and then center this underneath. Lift it up to make sure it's straight. And there you have it. A fun, springy birthday card. Now you could use this for anything. You could put any kind of sentiment in there. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click the link below and hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are needing any of the supplies that I have used, please visit my blog and the Shop Now button to purchase any of the supplies from my online store. So thank you so much for taking a few moments of your day to join me for some fun live crafting, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.